right, everybody. While our orchestra tunes, here are some reminders of great things happening today at Inspire. Make sure you check them out. Don't forget, there's happy hour in the Commons at 5 p.m. Remember to check out the regional lounges in the Commons. It's a great opportunity to meet your neighbors from a host of other countries in a casual setting. If you haven't made it to the expo in the Commons, take some time to walk through and see all of our great sponsors and exhibitors. Take a minute to update your LinkedIn profile and visit the Rock Your Profile booth in the expo at the Commons. Have a question about one commercial partner group? Stop by the Microsoft Partner Experience booth in the Commons and talk to our subject matter experts from across the company. Stop by the Microsoft Giving Gallery and help empower change. Explore the causes we've curated with trusted charities to find something that inspires you and supports diversity and inclusion. Located in the Commons, Microsoft Central. Take a photo, make an impact. Our goal is $100,000 and we're at $18,380 right now. Microsoft will donate $5 to your chosen cause. It's been a great start to the morning, and it's about to get even better. Please silence all of your devices that make noises and settle in. It's time for Microsoft Inspire 2017.
I'm super excited. This is my first big convention.
I've come all the way from Sydney, Australia, probably about 30 hours door to door.
We hope to meet plenty of people, plenty of partners.
I'm here to meet new partners and grow out my business.
See how we can communicate with each other.
Networking is the lifeblood of what we do here.
We've all got our broken dreams and insecurities, but this love that's in our veins keeps changing everything.
I love it. It's inspiring. It makes you excited.
Especially when you go to the keynotes, Satya is always the inspiration. He gets me pumped every time.
Welcome to Microsoft Inspire.
This ethos of being partner-led is always going to be in everything we do. You're pushing forward. You're leaning into the future.
Where your dreams meet gratitude, that's where inspiration lives.
Let's take everything Microsoft can do for you and together bring your inspirations to life.
Thank you for your commitment and your drive to make us collectively better. Welcome to Inspire 2017.
I'm here to be inspired.
Innovate.
I'm here to help.
And make a difference.
Change the world.
Geely.
Inspired.
Is in our veins, it's in our blood.
When I was a kid, I took apart everything I got. I was always curious about how things worked. My 5th grade science project was testing aerodynamics. 6th grade was solar power, and 8th grade, a robotic hand. That drive to learn and discover taught me that we're only afraid of boundaries if we know where they are. I remember when I was 17, I got to present at the State Science Fair in Colorado. It was during public viewing of everyone's projects, and I was feeling nervous and excited to show off what I created. People were running around and checking everything out, but there was this one little girl who came over to my table. She started playing with the hands and moving the individual fingers. She was curious about how it all worked. It was then when I noticed that she was missing her right arm and was wearing a prosthetic. It was a very simple open-close device that she controlled using her muscle. I found out that this had cost $80,000 and that she would have to replace it as she grew. This was a breakthrough moment for me. I saw a way to change someone's life with technology I was making in my bedroom for a couple $100s. Growing up, I had an idea to make a robotic hand controlled by a glove. After months of learning from YouTube, open source forums, Skyping people all around the world, and lots of failure and setbacks, I had turned my idea into reality. And wow, what an amazing feeling. This taste of success gave me the motivation to advance my designs by using low-cost 3D printers and turning what was once my bedroom into a lab with a bed in the corner. This ultimately led to creating a company called Unlimited Tomorrow to empower people through technology. Recently, I started working with a small girl named Momo. When I first started working with Momo, she had a body-actuated prosthetic, essentially a human-like claw. She could do simple tasks with it, but rarely wore it because of the appearance. And I knew that the technology I'd been making could greatly impact her life in ways never thought possible. We created a new design for Momo that's unlike anything the world had ever seen. The hand monitors force and provides feedback through haptics. It has individual finger movement and a battery that lasts 3 to 4 days. We even designed removable fingernails that Momo can paint. Altogether, it weighs less than her real arm and can be produced at scale for only a few $1,000s. Just a couple weeks ago, I met Momo in person for the first time to give her this new arm. It was very surreal, as I've been working for the last 5 years for this moment. It's hard to describe how I felt, walking into the room with her and her parents, and putting down the box, opening it up, and seeing their expressions and feeling their emotions. It was extremely fulfilling. But all of this innovation is just the beginning. We are creating a new worldwide scalable model in prosthetics by using low-cost 3D scanners and computers to digitally map an amputee's residual limb and opposite full arm if they have one. This raw data goes through software that automatically places the mechanical and robotic designs based off the shape and dimensions of the person. The output of this is then ready to print in a network of 3D printers around the world, allowing us to produce some of the most advanced artificial limbs, even in remote and underprivileged communities. You never know what an idea can turn into, and curiosity is what made me venture into new technology and new business models. It's what keeps me motivated. Throughout all of this, the driving force has been to empower people with technology. And in return, I learned the importance of following your passion and staying curious. Curiosity is the key to innovation, and it's up to you to use it as a tool. Thank you.
I'm inspired by music. I'm inspired by art, by nature, by things of elegant design, and that are bustling with creativity. Art has to evolve. We have to go somewhere. We always have to move forward, and we can't stay stagnant. We're getting people in the concert hall that don't usually commingle with one another, experiencing something together and talking to one another. What's important to me is encouraging people to break down barriers. On all of our artistic journeys, we just accrue so many different styles and techniques, and it's so hard to figure out how they all work together, but it's actually, I think, our job to find that new thing that is made up of all those little things that you've been picking up on the way.
We begin with inspiration. We hope it leads us to innovation, but we live in the space in between: improvisation, experimentation, and endless iteration. When applied to music, these create a unique beauty and power. The piece we will perform for you today combines Beethoven's groundbreaking Eroica Symphony and Coldplay's Viva la Vida. Please welcome guest soloists Bill Prokopo, Malia Savets, and Ben Jones, and the Capitol Symphonic Youth Orchestra.
save the king. 1 minute I held the key. Next the walls closed on me, and I discovered that my castle stands upon pillars of salt, pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you go there was never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world.
Doors to let me in, shattered windows and the sound of drums.
People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver plate,
just a puppet on a lowly string. Oh, who would ever want to be king?
I hear Jerusalem bells ringing, Roman cavalry choirs singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. For some reason I can't explain, once you go there was never an honest word. That was when I ruled the world. For some reason I can't explain, I know St. Peter won't call my name. Never an honest word, but that was when I ruled the world.
Hello, I am Chaitra Vedulapalli, Chief Marketing Officer at Mela Corporation, based in Bellevue, Washington. I'm inspired by the future of business and that technology will help create over 1 billion jobs. Mela Corporation is at the forefront of this creation. Like every one of you, we are disruptive and believe in greenfield growth for the betterment of us all. We are excited to connect with Microsoft and all other partners at Inspire this year and to learn how to deliver an impactful cloud transformation in our communities. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Microsoft's Executive Vice President of the Worldwide Commercial Business, the man who champions each of us in this room, Judson Althoff.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of Microsoft Inspire. I don't know about you, but I can't think of a more inspirational way than to start the morning with Easton's story, the fantastic soloist Stephen Hackman, and the Capitol Symphonic Youth Orchestra. How about another round of applause for those folks? Listen, it's fantastic to be with the thousands of you that are here in Washington, D.C., and the many, many more that are watching online. And I want to start off with a huge, sincere thank you for all of the work that you do each and every day. I know that it takes a lot of hard work, tenacity, perseverance to do the things that you do to serve our customers around the world. I want to thank you for the great successes that you've brought to those customers. But I also want to thank you for the more challenging times, the times when we fail together, because in fact, it's actually how we learn. It's how we get better at what we do and how we reach our potential as an ecosystem. And then finally, above all, I thank you for your partnership. To me, the word partnership is a relationship of longevity. It has its ups and downs. We're together in strength and weakness, and we will persevere, and together we'll achieve more as an ecosystem. So thank you very much. Today we have a lot of exciting things to talk about, and I'm really fired up to share them with you. We have three main pieces to this morning's keynote. First, I'm going to spend about 30 minutes talking to you about our strategy and how our go-to-market model is evolving and how it's going to serve you, our partner ecosystem, and how we're going to grow together. Then, I'm delighted to share with you a fantastic segment on digital transformation, where we're going to bring to stage partners and their customers to talk about how they're empowering employees, driving customer engagement, optimizing operations, and transforming their products together. This will be a live segment, real systems, real solutions, real customers, and real partners that are making digital transformation come to life today. And then finally, if you hang in there till the end, I've got a really special surprise for all of you that I think will mean a lot to you and will inspire you as we move forward. So let's get started. I want to start with our opportunity. And yesterday, Satya showed this slide. He spoke of this fantastic $4.5 trillion opportunity that's fueled by the intelligent edge, this world of devices, from sensors to sensor fabrics, to mobile devices, devices with human interfaces, large form factor devices, where intelligence is pervasive across all of the same, and how these technologies are fueled by the cloud and all of the rich cloud services that we bring to market together. These combine to drive digital transformation, and it is in fact a new world of opportunity for all of us. I have to admit, the first time I saw this chart, I thought Satya was trying to give me a new quota, so it sort of set me back a little bit. But in fact, I'm actually inspired by this opportunity. We're going to have a lot of discussion about our new go-to-market model today and throughout this event and ongoing throughout this fiscal year. Rest assured that the strategy is fueled by this growth opportunity and that it's fueled with one commercial partner in mind so that we can be successful together at reaching our potential. I want to talk about the 4 solution areas that Satya spent time going through yesterday and the demonstrations that so richly articulated our technical opportunity. Because these aren't sort of accidental, if you will. They're inspired by customers, by the demand we're seeing in the marketplace. Every CIO, every chief technical officer has these on their agenda, from modern workplace technologies that bring about a new culture of work through creativity, teamwork, simplicity, and of course, security. How business applications are in fact evolving. They are no longer systems of record, or as some people like to call them, systems of oppression. They are in fact intelligent-driven solutions. They're built upon data graphs, things like Office 365 and the rich data underneath Dynamics 365, and even the professional network of LinkedIn to drive new sales automation experiences, customer and field service automation experiences, talent solutions, and of course, operational solutions that bring about new levels of efficiency never seen before. To the world of apps and infrastructure. This is, in fact, a super passionate space. All of you are bringing to life new applications like never before, lifting and shifting and modernizing solutions using open source technologies, DevOps capabilities, bringing about the most modern and exciting applications that our industry has ever seen. And of course, finally, being grounded in data and giving birth to artificial intelligence. To be very clear, the data estate is the key. And actually, we all need to take a responsibility to build the data estate for our customers. Because in fact, data fuels intelligence. A system can only be as intelligent as the data over which it reasons. And whilst the algorithms, the machine learning, the fantastic visual interfaces get a lot of the attention, trust me when I say that if you don't first start with the data estate, all you do is make mistakes with greater confidence than ever before. In fact, data and AI go hand in hand. We've got to establish the data estate for our customers and build new cognitive services and rich capabilities that empower humans to achieve more like never before. It is, in fact, our responsibility to build this two-sided business plan for all of our customers. You see the 4 technology solution areas in digital transformation? They're intrinsically linked. If you think about it, the 4 solution areas, they drive the technology agenda for almost every customer, for CIOs and CTOs. Whilst the digital transformation outcomes are in fact in the hearts and minds of all the business owners, the CXOs that we serve. If done well, we compose the perfect two-sided business plan that richly goes through all of the technology opportunity on one side of the plan. Think of it almost metaphorically as a checklist of things to go through and how we can serve our customers best so that they can reach their potential. And then you turn the page over and think about the outcomes, the opportunity that we can drive for all of them. And you'll see that come to life with customers and some of your peers on stage in just a moment. This fantastic opportunity is what lies ahead. And is what will allow us all to achieve greatness in this $4.5 trillion total addressable market. But there's one critical element that fuels digital transformation. And that is a deep understanding of the customer's business. It takes rich industry understanding to actually make customers successful in the world of digital transformation. Simply put, digital transformation is a wave of business innovation that's fueled by cloud technologies. In order to make a customer successful, you've got to understand the world in which they live. To blindly talk about employee empowerment, for example, without taking the context that the customer you're calling on is a hospital. And it's not about employee empowerment so much as enabling healthcare professionals to deliver better patient care. We'll miss the boat. So we have to be focused on industry, bring deep industry expertise, and then back it up with great technical expertise to allow the vision to become reality. So we're going to be focused on 6 priority industries at Microsoft this next fiscal year. We're going to be focused on financial services, on retail, and manufacturing in the commercial space. And in public sector, we'll be focused on governments, education, and healthcare. We'll develop mastery skill in these 6 industry areas. We're going to build solution maps with your intellectual property that's wrapped with your services, the great hosting capabilities that you bring to bear. It's an ecosystem play. We'll develop mastery skill in these 6 areas, and then we'll continue to build and thrive with micro verticals to address more and more customers and the way in which they operate. The thesis behind this change is very simple. It's in fact customer-driven. Customers are asking us to more deeply understand their business, marry our portfolio of intellectual property with the power of our partner ecosystem to help them to achieve more. Customer-driven, fueling the partner ecosystem. So we're changing our model. we're changing how we go to market. The singular slide in front of you represents Microsoft's new commercial model. And there are 5 things you need to know about it. At the highest level, we're simplifying our segmentation. And we're becoming far more nimble so that we can put the right resource in front of the right customer at the right time. The first thing that you need to know about the new commercial model is that we're aligning all of our account team units around the world by industry. We'll develop that subject matter expertise, the better ability to serve our customers digitally. The second thing you need to know is that all of our specialist technology units around the world will be aligned by these 4 solution areas. Again, we're focusing on where the customers want us to be and adding technical expertise to bring their visions to life. The third thing that we're doing is we're building a formal customer success organization. We've learned a lot over the last several years with cloud solution architects and data solution architects and some of our best and highest growing accounts around the world. And we're now adding that capability across all 4 solution areas so that we can drive modern workplace, business applications, apps and infrastructure, data and AI solutions to life. Think of these folks as non-billable resources that you can partner with to help customers get real value out of the cloud solutions they've acquired. The fourth thing you need to know is that we're investing heavily in inside sales capabilities to bridge the rich marketing assets we have, our global demand center, and all of the campaigns that come from it, with partner opportunity. This organization will feed leads to you to help drive us towards that total addressable market. And the final thing you need to know, the fifth thing you need to know, is that one commercial partner is critical to our success in the enterprise and in the small, medium, and corporate space, and that we will always be a partner-led, partner-first company. The one commercial partner organization is structured around 3 key areas. Ron articulated this very well yesterday, around build with, go to market, and sell with. So I want to just quickly tell you how this aligns to the commercial model I just went through. Our build with organization is going to be aligned by you. If you want to write code with us, if you want to build services, if you want to actually go and deploy these things and create value with customers, host them, create managed services, we want to build with you. No longer are we going to be concerned about the 3-letter acronyms that you might be falling into, LSP, CSP, VAR, VAD, SI, etc. If you want to build with us, we're going to build with you. And this organization will be organized by partner. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to go to market, and we're going to go to market by these 4 solution areas. Once we've built capacity with you, we're going to go to market across the 4 solution areas, across modern workplace, business applications, apps and infrastructure, data and AI. And finally, when it comes to selling with you, we're going to sell with you the same way in which we're organized, by industry and by segment. We're going to develop rich solutions that serve our customers well. And to talk more about that industry alignment, I want to invite to the stage our Corporate Vice President for all of industries at Microsoft, Toni Whitley. Hey, Dr. Ned.
Woo! Hi, folks. For those of you who don't climb mountains, don't sing, don't play in the orchestra, you still want to be inspired, you've got a skill set. I want you to feel good about these next 15 minutes where I'm going to talk about industry, and I'm going to elaborate on what Judson's just shared about a go-to-market industry model. So you're going to ask me, is industry inspiring? How am I going to light up a solution map? How am I going to excite you about account teams being structured by industry? Well, let me tell you why it's inspiring to me. I'm 27 months in at Microsoft. This is my 3rd partner conference. And if you've heard me before on this stage or stages like this, I came in with one focus to Microsoft. How do we go more by industry? How do we bring more industry content relevance to Microsoft, to our partners, and to our customers? Why is that? because I've been a customer of Microsoft, because I've been a partner with Microsoft, and the first thing I wanted was a conversation with Microsoft about a business outcome. Not the attribute of a product, not the attributes of a platform, but start with my customer. So let's just for 15 minutes make the analogy that when I say industry, I mean customer. That to understand a customer, you have to understand the industry they're in, you have to understand what they're trying to disrupt, you have to understand what their competitive environment is, what their market is. You've got to speak their language, and you've got to start with your customer language and translate back to your product portfolio. That's what's exciting about this shift with Microsoft for industry. I love the 4 words on this title. Industry-focused, partner-powered. That is, in fact, the description, if you walk away with nothing else, that Microsoft is driving in their go-to-market. I'm going to take a few minutes to go over 3 quick points for you. First, the size of this market. You've heard Judson and Satya yesterday talk about a $4.5 trillion market, which goes far beyond an IT market, but to the fundamental cogs of organizations, companies around the world. I want to talk about that and break it down by industry and some of the trends that are occurring. Then I want to give you an example of what an industry go-to-market looks like with a real customer. And then finally, I want to get to the how. Not just the what and the who, but the how. How do we do this together with partners in terms of the operating model going forward? So let me just start with the 6 industries that we've all talked about, these prioritized industries, which please understand for Microsoft, this doesn't just mean our sales organization is prioritized. This means across our entire company, engineering, business development, marketing, we all are speaking this language around industry. When we look at financial services, we look at an industry that is significant and growing. We look at digital natives that are the generation XYZ that are coming of age. And we know through the research that they're going to drive $900 billion in new capability, new demand, and a supply side has to be built for these new digital financial services. In fact, some of these services we haven't been able to anticipate. They will be new to even what we see now in the market. When we look at manufacturing, we think of Industry 4.0, which is really the total transformation of the manufacturing floor, plant, and supply chain. What do we see here? $31 billion in investment that we're seeing that will happen to transform this industry. We want you and Microsoft to be part of that $31 billion investment. When I look at retail, look at that number. By the way, that's T trillion, $22.5 trillion this year, $28.3 trillion next year. That's a huge market that's growing, and those same digital natives that are affecting the financial services supply and demand are affecting this supply and demand. They're going beyond brick and mortar to e-commerce, and as you saw yesterday, we've got solutions that address this market with your help, your engagement, your solutions, your IP. Let me stop on education for a minute, because if you know Microsoft and its history, education is an industry. It's a huge industry, but it's much more than that at Microsoft. Education is a legacy for us. We feel incredibly strong about the future of education, and we feel incredibly responsible for ensuring that we create the skills and help students have skills that will be needed for jobs of the future. You see this first quote, that 65% will have jobs that don't even exist today. How do you get students prepared for that? That's about different competencies that have to be built. Many of you heard our announcement in May, our aspiration to empower students and educators. We announced the biggest investment we've ever made in education with new Windows 10 Cloud, Microsoft Teams, our Minecraft education code builder, and all kinds of tools that we have now to spark creativity. But Edu extends beyond the classroom. You see a $150 billion opportunity in corporate learning, taking education from a vertical to a horizontal in corporate learning. This is a huge market for us going forward and for you. Health, interesting, $8 trillion spend in health is what's anticipated worldwide. $4 trillion of that, half on just 3 diseases, 3 areas, cardiovascular, cancer, and respiratory. Look at the market and also look at the impact if we can break through in those 3 areas. And finally, when we look at government at the federal, regional levels, government in defense, we see some relaxing in the regulatory markets there. So the defense spend increasing, almost doubling in cloud spend in the US. And then rest of world, a lot of focus on cities, smart cities, safe cities, educated cities, healthy cities. This is all around resilience in the City Next. And you'll see that Microsoft is relaunching their City Next program with a starter kit for cities that involves a couple of key solutions, one being urban mobility. And why? Why that? Because we see this statistic looming in front of us. We see that in the next 35 years, we've got 70%, more than 2/3 of the world's population in cities. That's the future as well as the opportunity. But let me take a moment to expand on why that matters. Let me talk to you a little bit about a partnership that we've been able to create with an organization named Cubic, and why this partnership is important. It's important because it's non-standard for Microsoft. When we talk about an industry go-to-market, we're talking about engaging with companies that we might not have and partners that we might not have originally engaged with. Cubic is a worldwide leader in intelligent transportation solutions. They've got 60% of the world market in the UK, in Australia, and North America. They came to us not in a traditional way. They came to us because of our industry strategy on City Next. And they found out that we were involved with and excited about driving the change in cities. And they brought their capability to ours. They looked at our Azure platform. They looked at our IoT and our ability to maintain the tickets and the gating that they do. This is an amazing organization. I just want to give you a minute to hear, and let's roll the video on why this kind of partnership really represents industry go-to-market going forward. Roll the video, please.
Mobility is a very fast-changing world at the moment. Technology has tremendous impact on how we travel each day.
We are servicing tens of millions of end users on a daily basis, knowing we can do something to improve their life, make their life easier, to generate additional value by leveraging data available in the system.
Transportation agencies play a very vital role in helping cities to be economically more vibrant.
Because we are able to reduce congestion, improve traffic flow, that motivates and promotes the growth of the cities.
On one hand, you have a market-leading company, Microsoft, driving innovation in cloud, driving innovation in productivity solutions. On the other hand, you have Cubic, which has been innovating and leading the transformation of mobility technology for over 40 years. So combining forces was a very natural thing to do. It is important that customers trust the solutions that we deliver. So having a trusted partner in Microsoft with its own strong reputation for reliable, trusted, secure solution delivery was very important for us.
So Cubic, over the past decades, have deployed over 40 major systems to 20 regions around the globe. In the case of London, we know, as a matter of fact, between buses and underground, we are supporting 11 million users on a daily basis.
My dream is that, in the not-so-far future, we'll all live in cities where it's absolutely frictionless and easy to take any form of transportation, whether it's a bus or a taxi or a bike, without having to think about how to pay, without having to think about, is the service running on time, because I'll proactively been told exactly what's happening, what I should do based on my preferences. And I think we're at a terribly exciting place.
Thank you. What about that vision? Did anybody travel here today and hit just a bit of traffic, just a little bit? Okay, look at that vision of the future of a city. That's the kind of standard partnership we want to see in our industry go-to-market, with an organization that is absolutely extending our platform into verticals around the world. So let's talk about, I said I would say three things. Let's talk about the how, because it's important for you to know that this is real and tangible. 4 elements, and really Judson hit a few of these already. When we start talking about industry, it really starts with a partner model that engages in how we interact, not in how you are titled or categorized by our company, but how we engage with you. And why does that matter for industry? Because it's important to know what we're building together towards an industry. It's important to know that we're selling together within industry capability. In fact, there's a role that we've never had at Microsoft, a channel manager, an enterprise channel manager that's going to be dedicated to these 6 prioritized industries around the world so that you know how to engage with us when we are going to market and selling together. As so many of you have given me this feedback before. How do we sell in that last mile execution? We've got a role. In addition to that, we've got some new industry dedicated roles. So Judson talked about the account teams being aligned. Microsoft has never had our account teams aligned by industry. But what you're going to find around the world is those customer-facing account teams, account executives, account managers, account business architects, industry architects, all aligned to a single industry so that we drive that focus around these 6 and we drive deeper acumen across. This is really going to be important as we go to market with you and we can look at some of the assets to determine where you're looking to grow as our partners. Outside of industry roles, we also have some really cool new tools and resources. How many of you, I can see a few hands, have even heard of solution maps and have had some? Okay, I see 9 of you. Thank you so much in this area here, maybe 13 over here. Solution maps, that's going to be a tool that we use across engineering, sales, and marketing to lay out your solutions against the line of business needs of our customers. And we're going to build all the way through those maps reference architecture so we know how to plug and play our technology with your technology to meet the customer demand. Solution maps will become very, very standard in how we engage going forward. In addition to that, ways to envision what's the future for that industry with a book of dreams across each of these industries that lay out new envisioning ideas for our customers, as well as playbooks and other resources. You know, even here at Inspire, we've got a session and we've got resources and industry experts set up to meet with you. All of you are able to participate in one-on-one sessions with my industry team, with industry experts to talk about your solutions and how they meet our maps as well as our customers around the world. I think those are available on the expo floor in the Microsoft Partner Experience area. So please, if you have a minute, take a minute to engage with some of these industry experts right here at Inspire. Beyond tools and resources, let's not forget that it also comes down to solutions themselves. And again, as I said, if industry equals customer, solution is around driving to an outcome. I give you an example of just in health, the 9 core industry solutions that are in our health vertical right now. And many of you have IP and services that are driving towards these solution areas. On our partner site, you can click on industry solutions for a deeper understanding of all the solutions across all 6 industries. But why is this important? Let me lift it back up to why this matters. Solutions matter because they array against a customer journey. So if you look at just this landscape, when we're talking to a health customer, I want the standard experience when we go to market together to be able to engage with those solutions, with your solutions, with any health customer around the world and be able to answer the question, how do you want to engage differently with your patients? How do you want your care team to operate? What's new on the healthcare continuum? How do we modernize your operation? Those 4 parts of our digital transformation journey, we want that to be common speak. We want this to be an industry standard experience. So I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you who pushed us towards industry, industry, industry. Relevant, relevant, relevant. Customer, customer, customer. We have your feedback. We're ready to go. We're ready to grow together. We're ready to create some new markets together. And we're ready to have a bit of fun. Thanks very much. Judson, back up.
Well done. So digital transformation is not future speak. In fact, it's alive and well today. And these next scenarios I like to think of as digital transformation in real life. I'm delighted to bring to the stage 4 partners and their customers to show you scenarios. In fact, not scenarios, real live solutions for employee empowerment, customer engagement, the optimization of operations, and the transformation of products. These are real stories, real customers, real partners just like you, bringing digital transformation to life today. And I want to share these stories with you, hopefully to inspire you to go back out into the field, continue doing the great work that you're doing today, and drive digital transformation ubiquitously with our customer base. That's what's behind this total addressable market opportunity for all of us. So I want to talk through our first scenario to tee it up for you. It's around employee empowerment. But in fact, it's much more than that. I mentioned earlier in my opening that digital transformation has to have an anchor in industry, because you can't drive real business outcomes unless you understand the customer's industry. This scenario happens to be in the field of health, and I can't think of a more noble example to share with you. So I want to set it up for you and give you some context. Sadly, in South Africa, more than 20% of the entire population is HIV positive. These three individuals have dedicated their lives to solving that problem. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. John Sargent from Broadreach, Sally Govender, who's the South African Department of Health Director, and Dr. Ola Doyenbo, who is the USAID, which stands for United States Agency for International Development in South Africa. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage.
Hey, Judson.
Hello.
Thanks so much.
Hi, Sally. Dr. Ola, how are you? Fine. Okay, so John, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about Broadreach.
Yeah, so thanks, Judson. Broadreach was founded in 2003 as a healthcare consultancy. Today, we're about 500 employees. Now, we're a social impact organization, which means our whole reason for being, our mission in life, is to improve access to healthcare for populations in need. And we do this by making organizations and their employees, like governments, private sector companies, NGOs, who all deliver healthcare and social services programs, we work with them to make them much more effective in their work. Now, you can imagine technology is absolutely critical to this, because if you're managing a really complex health system, you need to be able to have the right information at the right time to make the right decision, and then the right tools to execute against it. So we built a cloud-based data aggregation, analytics, and workflow management system called Vantage that we use to empower our clients.
Awesome. So Dr. Ola, how does USAID fit into the equation?
USAID and PEPFAR administers many programs. Today we will tell you about USAID PEPFAR program initiative called 1990 to control and manage HIV epidemic in South Africa. We work closely with Sally, Broadreach, and the Department of Health in achieving our programmatic goal of 1990.
Awesome. And Sally, you spent decades working with the South African Department of Health. Why don't you tell us about this 90-90-90 program?
So the Ugu district where I work is actually ground zero of the HIV epidemic. Allow me then to tell you about the 90-90-90 strategy. So by 2020, we want 90% of all those people living with HIV in Ugu to know they're infected. Then we want 90% of those people to be on sustainable treatment. And finally, we want this treatment to be sustainable and successful in at least 90% of those that have commenced treatment. And if we get this right, then we will certainly beat HIV.
That's awesome. So Sally, why don't you talk a little bit about sort of the old way of work, if you will, prior to having this Vantage system?
So Judson, our old world entailed data wrangling in spreadsheets and trying to aggregate data across paper and lots of siloed databases and systems. So people would go out to clinics, initiate patients on treatment, or provide HIV counseling and testing. They would then come back and capture the data. And after a very manual process, we would get results possibly 4 to 6 weeks later. Now, naturally, by this time, the data was out of sync, it was no longer relevant, and our people were unable to make informed decisions based on data in terms of improving the HIV program as a whole. So, as a result, then, in the Ugu district, we were nowhere near achieving the 90-90-90 targets. Actually, 2 years ago, we were more like 61, 65, 42.
So let me set context again. So when Sally says 61, 65, 42, that means that only 61% of the people that had HIV actually knew they had it. 65% of those people were receiving treatment, and only 42 of those individuals were actually getting better. So sadly, that was quite behind the goals. Dr. Ola, talk to us a little bit about how this Vantage solution actually helped change the game.
With the help of Broadreach, we implemented the Vantage system in Ugu district, one of the 27 focus districts in South Africa. In less than 6 months, we jumped all the way to 79, 76, 60 today.
So, yes, how about that? So I think clearly the audience recognizes that these aren't just metrics. Every time a percentage increases, more human lives are saved. It's just an amazing body.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, there is still more work for us to do to achieve our programmatic goal. But we are very encouraged with the current results. And let me show you how we are going to continue driving all these numbers up. John?
Great, thanks, Dr. Ola. So, Judson, what we're looking at here is the instance for Ugu District in Vantage. Now, you can see here that we have all sorts of information. So Sally talked about this data wrangling and millions of pieces of data on paper and disparate databases. We now all bring it in one. So you can see Ugu is here in the KwaZulu-Natal province. But more importantly, we mine all this data in very plain, simple English can tell you at any point in time, where are we? So
that's amazing.
Currently, for the first 90, we're at 79%. So we're on track for the 2020 goals. For the second 90, we're at 76%. Again, we're really good there. We're on track. Now, the third 90, we're at 60%. So just to remind the audience, this only means that 60% of the people getting treatment are actually getting effective treatment. So this is a bit of a problem.
Got it. So what factors are actually driving the lower percentage?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors, but one of the most common ones is that when people start taking the medicines, they feel a lot better, and then they stop. I mean, I'm a doctor, and I sometimes do that with antibiotics. You shouldn't. Please don't do this. But it is a factor. And in fact, if you scroll down, and there's all sorts of interesting information, the demographics, infrastructure, but let's actually dive into some health statistics. So if we look at that third 90, actually how many people are stopping their treatment? So Sally, do you want to take us through this particular card here?
So this is a very important but alarming statistic. 20.2% of HIV patients have stopped treatment. And we can see here that the problem is in the Umdoni municipality.
Yeah, so in Umdoni, you can actually look down on this particular card here, and we again mine all the data, and we can actually tell you which clinics aren't performing. And in fact, Pennington Clinic is actually in Umdoni. So let's go ahead and click on that and get a profile. And when this comes up, you'll see, so you'll see in particular, it's this particular municipality. Here's some pictures of the clinic, but some of the analytics we run and the real-time insights can really help us understand what's happening and what's going on with performance. So you can see at Pennington, they look like they're understaffed. It looks like their nurses are actually seeing 60 patients a day instead of 35 to 40, which is the benchmark.
So it's important to remember that in rural clinics of South Africa, a doctor only visits a clinic once or twice a week. So essentially, it's the professional nurse who is the clinical resource and provides the key clinical services in a clinic.
Right. And we can even dive into deeper detail. So for those of us who really want to really get in the data, you can actually look at all these individual data elements, and you can graph them, heat map them, do all sorts of interesting things. So what you're looking at here is all the different clinics in Ugu, and that's roughly about 70. And we're looking at a particular indicator, which is, are they doing a test for patients to make sure their treatment is effective? So when patients come in for their checkups, they're supposed to get this blood test.
Now, there's quite a bit of standard deviation in the performance. Some of them are actually overperforming against the 90%.
Absolutely, and a lot are underperforming. And in fact, you can see Pennington down here at roughly 46.2%. So, again, it's probably linked to the staffing issue. We still have work that we've got to do.
Got it. So, Dr. Ola, why don't you net this out for us? How many lives are now being saved as a result of the Vantage application?
In summary, what we are saying is that in the 5 districts where this approach is being followed, we have saved thousands of lives. With respect to the first 90, 99,000 more people know they have HIV, which will help slow down the spread of the infection. With respect to the second 90, 95,000 more people are in treatment that will prolong their life. And with respect to the third 90, 86,000 more people have the treatment working well today. So once we get those 20% of patients who have stopped treatment back into treatments, we will see that last number jump.
That's right. So, listen, I think it's important to actually have a moment on this because whilst I appreciate your desire to improve, you've already saved 86,000 lives, which is just simply fantastic, and you should be really proud of that.
Thank you.
So, John, you've built this system on top of SQL Server and are hosting it in the cloud.
Yep.
You've put a rich interface for the web as well as phones and tablets.
Yep.
What's coming next?
Yep, so we're migrating to Azure. We're really excited because we think Azure gives us the security we need, the openness we need, and the accessibility in the geographies we're working in. In fact, Microsoft, you just made an announcement that the first Azure data center is going to open up in South Africa in 2018, the first of any major cloud provider. So it's going to help us a lot. The other thing to point out, a lot of this data is pretty confidential, so some of our customers want to keep it on premise. So the other thing we really like about Azure is the hybrid cloud solution. This really makes that possible.
Great. So listen, I'm proud that SQL Server and Azure have had a small amount of impact in empowering people who've sort of made it their lives work to help people with HIV. But what can you tell me is next coming for USAID and Broadreach?
Yeah, for USAID, we want to build a prognostic model. We plan to use machine learning to predict patients that have a high probability of being lost to follow-up or stop their treatment. We can share this list of patients to the clinic staff so that they can provide additional support, including psychosocial support to these patients so that they can continue to take their life-saving treatment. We are also in partnership with Broadreach, incorporating Office 365 and team, allowing the clinics better collaboration and also to document best practices. Our nurses and staff members can ask questions and share their knowledge across the clinic, across the districts, and even across the entire country.
Yeah, and for us at Broadreach, very fortunately under the leadership of USAID again, we're actually taking this whole Vantage system and scaling it to a whole new level. So USAID is leading this innovation project called Regional Action Through Data, otherwise known as RAD. And what this means is we're going to implement Vantage across 23 countries in West and East Africa. It's a catchment population of over 500 million people. And we're going to move beyond HIV. So we're going to look at things like early disease detection for diseases like Ebola. We're going to start looking at access to basic services like clean water and sanitation. So we're really excited about the power of what this is going to be able to do for us. And I don't know if the Microsoft South Africa, Middle East Africa, and For Africa initiative is in the cloud. Yeah, there you guys are. I just want to give a shout out to say thank you. This wouldn't be possible without you, and we look forward to working in partnership with you on this.
All right, so John, show us a demo of what you're doing with RAD.
Yeah, so in fact, like USAID, we're actually piloting Office 365, and we're really excited about Teams. So the RAD project has staff on 3 different continents. We've got folks here in DC, we've got folks in Europe, and folks all over Africa. So we're excited about having one place where we can all keep our team conversations, keep track of exactly what's going on, all our team files in one place, instead of on everybody's individual laptops, which happens a lot. Our project wiki, so we have all the information we need, and then the project planner. So we're going to be piloting this in the next couple of months, and we're excited about what this can do for us.
Super well done. Listen, I can't tell you on behalf of all of Microsoft how proud and humble that I am to hear your story, and how thankful I am, not just for your willingness to share it, but really for the work that you do each and every day. And I want everybody to understand that there's a multiplying effect. Mm-hmm. When you save 86,000 lives, each one of those lives is tied to a family, a mother, a father, perhaps a brother, a sister. So the impact is actually significantly more.
That's correct, but actually in total, this entire program is saving 500,000 lives.
That's fantastic. Right.
Thanks
very
Sarah.
much, John. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Dr. Rowan. Thanks. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Customer engagement has taken on an entirely new meaning. No longer is it just about loyalty and retention. It's about a customer journey from anonymous interactions all the way through to advocacy. Earlier this year, Microsoft and Adobe announced a partnership where we would bring together the marketing assets that Adobe has with the power of the Microsoft Cloud with Azure as a platform and Dynamics 365 as an integrated suite of business applications. This creates opportunity not just for Microsoft and Adobe, but for our entire ecosystem. And to talk more about that, I'd like to invite Jay Detling, the Vice President of Global Partners from Adobe, to the stage. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you, Judson. How are you?
I'm well. So, Jay, why don't you start us off with the meaning of this partnership from Adobe's point of view?
Great. Let me start by saying my team and I are so excited to be here, so thank you. I'll start by saying, cutting-edge brands know their future depends on designing and delivering smart, memorable, and personalized experiences. We call this the Experience Business Wave. Adobe and Microsoft share a vision that's focused on connecting the dots between sales, marketing, and support teams, using content and data to help enterprises make smarter decisions. Adobe has made Microsoft Azure its preferred cloud platform for our Experience Cloud, Document Cloud, and Creative Cloud platforms. And the exciting thing about this, Judson, this makes Adobe the largest ISV partner on Azure.
That's awesome. So, Jay, when I introduced you, I talked about the importance of this partnership for the entire ecosystem. To us, this is one great step forward with Adobe in bringing your intellectual property to our platform and integrating it with Dynamics 365. But it also creates opportunity for all of our partners to actually go deliver solutions around customer engagement. Tell us a little bit more about it from your perspective.
I couldn't agree more with you, Judson. Really, we knew we couldn't go at this alone. Our clients, our joint clients, are really itching to create new and differentiated experiences. By leveraging Microsoft's technology as the intelligent backbone for our Experience Cloud platforms, we're really creating more value for our partners to sell. And it's going to take this rich ecosystem in this room and outside of this room, this great big room, to really deliver that technology that the Experience Business Wave requires.
Awesome. So let's bring this to life. I'm excited that we have a customer and a partner that's actually taken the work we've done together and created an awesome solution, and I want to share it with everybody. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Alyssa Altman, the Senior Vice President and Regional Leader for Sapient Razorfish, and Savio Thatil, who is the Chief Information Officer of Sephora.
Great.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Hey.
Hi, Savio. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Alyssa, welcome.
Great.
So, Alyssa, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about Sapient Razorfish and the machine learning platform that you've built on top of Azure?
Sapient Razorfish is the hub for Publicis Group for marketing and business transformation. We, as you know, we're an alliance partner of Microsoft, and we won Adobe Partner of the Year for 5 of the past 6 years. We're real proud of our relationship and partnership with both organizations. And we're here today to talk about our Publicis Cosmos platform, which uses Cortana Intelligence Suite to integrate AI with Adobe Campaign.
Awesome. So we love the Cosmos name, but just so that everybody stays grounded, Publicis has a platform called the Cosmos platform, and Microsoft has the Azure Cosmos DB, which we'll actually be showcasing later.
Great.
So Sephora is one of the first customers that's actually using this Cosmos platform that you've created. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yep, that's right. So we did an initial POC with Sephora to demonstrate how we can use our platform with Adobe Campaign to really create those compelling campaigns that are for customers that are driven by data and insights.
Awesome. So, Savio, before we get into the demos, which you know I love, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sephora and your vision for digital transformation at the company?
Sure. As Sephora, as you know, is the #1 prestige beauty retailer in the world right now. We're live in 31 countries, over 2,100 stores. And as a beauty retailer, for us, understanding our customers' wants, needs, motivations throughout her journey with us is super cool. And the Cosmos platform that she just referred to and the Adobe Campaign helps us deliver those insights.
Awesome.
Great. So our differentiator at Sapient Razorfish is really leveraging the scale of the cloud and artificial intelligence to create that single view of the customer.
Cool. So believe it or not, I actually shop at Sephora, and I made a little trip prior to coming here. I've got my own little Sephora travel kit for Jack Black shaving cream here. You can see it's TSA approved.
Awesome.
Brought it along. So since I'm a customer, what can you tell everybody about me with your system?
All right. First of all, we do believe you that you shop. So anyway, but we already knew that about Judson.
I got my receipt in here to prove it, just in case.
All right. That's cool.
All right. Show me what you know here.
All right. So we're going to pull up your profile. We already knew all that about you. So if you want to click through, we can see all information about you. Right here, average transaction value is $54. Come on, Judson. You can do better than that.
I got my shaving cream on. I mean, what? Sell me more or something.
Clearly,
sell
we
me
need
more.
to target you more. All right. So we're going to go scroll up. We're going to go look for the details about you. We're going to pull up your orders, right here.
Awesome.
I can see that you typically buy Jack Black a lot, every month.
Well, I got a need for shaving. It happens. And then look, actually, you can see my transaction here just before I left for the show.
That's right.
Yep, absolutely. And so by understanding your transaction history, real-time contextual data, and communication preferences, we now have a holistic view of you, Judson.
So you got cool information about when I buy in store and when I buy online, but how can you really use this data to better target me as a customer?
All right, let's continue this. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to create a replenishment campaign for you. You're going to get out of this, right? We're going to go up here, click on Programs and Campaigns.
Okay.
And Loyalty Program.
Right on.
And so what you're seeing is a view of the replenishment workflow for all of our loyalty campaigns. And it's really a visual environment where marketers can design and orchestrate cross-channel journeys.
Really cool.
All right, so first, how about we create a simple segment, yeah?
Sounds good.
All right, so target audience, men between the age of 30 and 35. Sounds about right?
I think you're being kind, but let's just roll with that.
Right,
I like the way you think.
So now in the segment, we're going to select anyone who's purchased a product in the last 30 days.
Right on.
Clearly fall in.
Yep.
And the product should last about 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. So next, we're going to finalize this workflow. We're going to select the channel that we're going to execute this program under. Yeah?
Yep.
And then you look like the kind of guy who does everything on your phone.
Yeah, I try to when I can, but this was actually an in-store, so,
right, so
I'd love to hear more about what you can do for mobile.
Awesome. So we're going to drag and drop this because we think we're going to target you on mobile. And that's pretty much it.
Pretty slick. Just drag and drop, and there you go. A campaign built.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, out of curiosity, this is a beautiful system, of course, but how were you doing this before?
This was hard. We didn't have anything like this. We were missing a tool that allowed my marketing team to do anything like this before.
Awesome. So what's next? How can you use the power of this to continue to engage your customers?
All right. Okay. So before we execute, might be a good idea to preview.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
All right. So we're going to scroll up, replenishment offer email, and click on that. And right here on the left, you can see all the personalization rules that you can pick with it. And then here you can edit it. And this one's for you, but obviously not everyone wants Jack Black. So you can personalize it to whatever the content each person's replenishment cycle requires.
Maybe I'll spend more than $54 next time.
Yeah, right?
Right on. Good. So how might this work, Jay, in a mobile world?
Yeah, well, in addition to email and direct mail, Adobe Campaign supports push notifications. I saw that you brought your iPhone here. Do you have the Sephora app?
We do, in fact. Let's see if we can get it up for everybody on the screen. So there's my Sephora app.
Looks like you have a notification there.
I have my notification, which Savio sent me, so I can easily click on it. It actually gives me a little sort of instructional video there.
Kind of looks like you, too.
In case I missed a spot.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
Then go ahead and click one more time.
There you go. And it takes me straight to the Sephora site and puts it in the basket.
Beautiful.
Pretty slick. That'll save me a trip to the Bellevue Mall next time.
Are you going to hit buy?
Yeah. I'll take care of that, Savio.
Savio's watching.
And as you'd expect, this message was high fidelity and it was personalized for you.
Awesome. Super cool. So I can buy my Jack Black shaving cream with a couple of taps. It's super convenient. And the interface is awesome. I mean, you guys have done a great job with the visuals from the customer engagement side. But show me the power of the back end. What are the analytics being produced on the back end?
So what's really cool is, as you can see, this solution will engage you through email, direct mail, SMS, and even push notifications. So if you're walking down F Street today and that your Jack Black is in stock or on sale, you might actually have an opportunity to get a push notification from Sephora.
Awesome.
And this is such a core scenario for us across all our products, not just Jack Black, perfume, everything, right? And this helps build our brand loyalty too.
Awesome. So why don't you show us some of the insights that you get on the back end?
All right, okay, we're going to continue playing. So we have it up here. We're going to show you something with Power BI.
Great.
Okay? So as you can see with this, we can pull all data about our client across all the systems that we have. This is, data analytics, our business data, having that side by side, this was really hard for us. I mean, this is a first.
Yeah. So it's not only do you get sort of the breadth of your engagement, but also the depth of your customer engagement across all of your different customer types.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So Alyssa, talk to us a little bit more about this Cosmos platform of yours. How is it using Azure Machine Learning?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're really creating a holistic view of Sephora's relationship with their customer, and we call that the Consumer 360. We're using components of the Cortana Intelligence Suite to integrate customer data from all the Adobe platforms and Sephora's first-party customer profile and product data.
Awesome. So I've been known to be a little bit of a data geek.
Yes.
Can you show me the model?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. Let's jump in here. Okay, so here's one of our models. It's using purchase history and profile info like skin and hair type and skin tone and time of year. It then generates scores for each model that allows us to decide who to target and when.
Awesome.
Those scores then feed directly into Adobe Campaign, where they are used to determine the timing and details for a targeted customer message with product recommendations.
And this is a true differentiator for us. These were things we couldn't do before. I mean, let alone automate this.
That's awesome.
And really the ability to provide the right offer at the right time on the right device is really the power of the Adobe Experience Cloud. We provide APIs to our partner community through Adobe I/O. And this is what makes it easier for partners like Sapient Razorfish to integrate their solutions with the Adobe Experience Cloud and to really generate even more partner innovation.
So based on the scores and ratings generated by Publicis Cosmos, what we're really able to help Sephora do is not focus on when to target the customer, but the data and insights they're going to get from each marketing campaign and what they can do next.
That's awesome. So listen, I'd love to thank you guys for sharing this because honestly, Savio, your vision for transforming customer engagement at Sephora is really inspiring. Jay, our partnership between Microsoft and Adobe is really off to a great start. And Alyssa, all of the work you've done at Sapient Razorfish really has brought the solution to life. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you.
Nicely
Thank you
done.
for having us.
Thanks, Savio.
Thank you, Judson.
So I hope you all took in the power of the partner ecosystem there. We have a great relationship with Adobe, but what really brought it to life was all of the great work that Alyssa and the Sapient Razorfish team did for Sephora, and that creates opportunity for all of you as an ecosystem. So for our next story, I want to talk about optimizing operations and how a customer from Australia has partnered together to not only drive clean energy solutions, but to do so while saving endangered species on an island off the coast of Australia. So please join me in welcoming to the stage Kashif Salim and Gavin Miller. Kashif is from a company called Trackum. He's the CEO and founder. And Gavin Miller is from a company called Urtec.
Judson,
Kashif,
how are you?
welcome.
Judson, how you going?
Gavin, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
So Gavin, let's start with you. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about Urtec and how your company is driving clean energy solutions while protecting endangered species?
Sure, Judson. Look, Urtec's a large civil construction contractor operating in the mining, oil and gas, government and utilities infrastructure sectors, as well as the land development sectors in Australia. Now, we're part of the Barrow Island Natural Gas Project in Western Australia, and we contract to Chevron. Now, this project's one of the world's largest natural gas projects on the go, and it's the largest single resource development ever in Australia's history. Now, Barrow Island's very remote. It's about 60 kilometres off the northwest coast of Australia. It's a specially protected habitat that supports hundreds of unique and critical species like the flatback sea turtle.
So specially protected species, governments, it sounds like a fair bit of regulations to manage.
Very much so. We adhere to globally recognised conservation best practices to minimise environmental impact. Now, the Australian government has strict quarantine measures to keep non-Indigenous plants and animals off the island, And Chevron has enhanced these rules with its own environmental controls.
So tell us a little bit more about the type of work you're doing on the island to protect these endangered species.
Yeah, look, one of the biggest things we do is manage inventory for the thousands of pieces of equipment that are being used on this project, from trucks and plant and equipment right down to waste containers. Since the project's nearly done, we're actually removing all the temporary construction buildings and facilities and restoring those areas back to their natural state. This is involving actually demolishing 800 temporary buildings, and all the demolition waste must be transported off the island to be disposed of properly. We've got actually over 300 containers like this one on the slide that are used to transport waste back to the mainland, where they are cleaned and quarantined before being returned to the island. Now, we need to know exactly where all these containers are on the island and where they go on the mainland so we can minimise the amount of material going to landfill. Now, that's why we're engaged with Trackem.
So, Kashif, naming the company Trackem, my guess, just maybe that you guys track stuff.
That's right. Our platform is built entirely on Azure to track thousands of items for ERTEC in real time. And we work with customers all over Asia Pacific.
Awesome. So can you show us a system that you built to help ERTEC here?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Sure thing. So, look, here's our Trackem dashboard. So this is where I can get an overall view of all 7,000 pieces of equipment on the island. So that's from large earth-moving equipment, like excavators, rock breakers and loaders, to bulk items like small hand tools and even down to nuts and bolts. With the chart on the left, I can see how many assets are at each facility and who is currently owning them. We can also track them when they go to the mainland, ensuring that we're not using landfill when we don't need to.
So it's clearly a beautiful system, and then you can see all of your assets, how your assets are doing by location. How were you doing this before this system?
Yeah, look, manually, really, or in siloed systems. I mean, there was different systems for each type of tracker with a GPS, barcode, and RFID. Some were recorded in our plant system, some in the ERP asset system, and many in spreadsheets. So the problem was synchronising the information across these separate tracking systems. Trackem helped us solve this.
That's right, Judson. What we did is we identified the problem with the siloed tracking system and bring them all together into one Azure environment. Then we use Power BI so that ERTEC can visualize and manage the equipment. And then we also use Cosmos DB to store thousands of documents related to these pieces of equipment.
Awesome.
Judson, if you look on the chart on the left, one of the sites is red, which indicates that it doesn't have enough waste containers for the cleanup. So when we click on that, you can see the donut chart on the right says there's only one available. The rest are all busy. So we actually need to get a waste container there pronto.
So look, I get that red is bad, but so why is it so important to track all of these waste bins?
Yeah, look, it's a regulatory requirement. If we misplace any waste, we may shut down the entire natural gas plant, and this can cost millions of dollars a day.
Got it.
Ultimately, our product can help save ERTEC operational costs and avoid bottlenecks that can stop Chevron's operations.
So quick, let's find an available waste container to transfer. So we'll click on the assets list to the top to find one. Now this will take us to a list of all our assets. Right now it's actually pulling up all the tracking information and inspection details of the 7,000 pieces of equipment we have.
Awesome.
Now we'll type in the type of container we're looking for in the search, which is bin. So BIN we type. So that goes to the subset of information and brings up all of our waste containers. Now it looks like this 001X04 container is available at one of our inventory storage sites. So let's click on it and click on the edit button, and that'll come up. And looking at this container, I can see exactly where it is on the map, and it doesn't look too far from the site that needs it. So let's initiate the transfer.
Right on.
Now, Judson, I'm going to hire you as an employee for a few minutes because I need your help transferring the container.
Right on. So I've been looking for a new line of work, so I promise I won't let you down here.
Okay, now if you can perhaps put on this construction helmet for your new job.
So it comes with an outfit. That's great. That's great.
Now you're the plant manager on inventory site, which
How do
means
I look?
You look the part.
All right. Great.
Job opportunity for you.
It's important.
Now you're the plant manager. Now this means you're in charge of all the equipment that comes in and out of your site, and you have the extra container available. So we're going to use this container on stage for this. So if we can take the phone there, and you can scan it out for transfer.
Great.
Okay, so we've got the tracker map open already. So if you can tap on assets at the top left.
Yeah, that's fine. You can click on.
You'll see a barcode icon on the top right. Tap that, and it'll bring up your phone's camera.
Took a
So we
picture.
can scan. Okay, that'll scan and beep.
This guy here.
Right, and since the barcode's already registered in Trackham, it's recognised it as the available container.
Awesome.
So now tap on the asset.
All right, asset.
There.
And then you can click on location.
And location.
There, and that's transfer it to the BW plant.
Wow.
And change the status to in transit.
Okay.
So then tap on the check mark at the top right, and that'll save the changes to our tracking system.
All right. Cool. Fantastic. So about this in-transit part, how does that happen?
Well, welcome to the team, Judson. Please take the garbage can off the stage for us so it can be transferred.
Great. Good. So this is really talking trash, I guess. It's good. There you go. Always wanted to be czar of janitorial services. Thanks for helping out.
Now, Judson, look, we must do this for every single piece of equipment, both on the island and the mainland side of the project, using one secure device that can scan any type of tracker and upload to one single system. This actually gives us the ability to know and react like never before.
So, Kashif, you built a fantastic system using IoT capabilities, Azure and Power BI, and it's even connected to secure devices.
Absolutely. So, Judson, because we are using this on oil and gas plant, we need to make sure that we're using intrinsically safe devices, which runs app on multiple platforms, and then we connect to Azure platform at the back end. We also use SSL encryption for data protection.
Awesome.
Now, we're also implementing SPE E3 into our operations as well, so this ensures we've got the safest and most secure environment for our productivity tasks.
Awesome. So we appreciate the investment in Microsoft 365. So look, this is great. What can you guys tell me is next for Trackham and Urtec?
Judson, remember, big equipment and machinery is transported to the island in parts. Then they are cleaned and shrink-wrapped as part of the quarantine measures to prevent non-indigenous species from being introduced.
So let me get this straight. Everything you take to the island,
yes,
you first take apart,
yep,
shrink wrap it,
yes,
take it to the island,
yes,
and then put it back together again.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So, we just want to make sure that we don't introduce non-indigenous.
Great. Yeah. Right on.
Cool. So so what we actually did is we enabled Autodesk 3D modeling software and built a Trackham plugin which connects to Azure backend data.
Awesome.
Which helps Urtec to track the items. So Urtec can actually see in 3D model of the equipment what it's supposed to look like once it's built. Let me show you. So here is a standard 3D model of a gas tank system.
Very
you can
cool.
see how it looks like. But remember, Judson, everything comes wrapped in white shrink wrap.
Right.
So you don't always know what the parts are by just looking at a pallet of equipment.
Got it.
Okay, so what we did is we built a Trackham plugin. Over here you can see that. So let me just go up here and click on Show Status. So I'll click on Show Status, and it will change the color of the items in the 3D model.
Right on.
And you'll see that colors have changed to indicate their status. Pieces in green are delivered, yellow is in transit, and bread is not delivered yet.
Awesome. So if we had the waste bin that I just transported, it would be yellow because it's in transit.
Absolutely.
So it looks like these red pieces here are pretty important.
Yeah.
So what do you do in this circumstance?
So we can't start the construction on this tank. Yeah.
So I would imagine as a site manager, Gavin, it's pretty critical to have visibility to where all of these pieces are at all times.
Oh, absolutely. Look, with a white shrink wrap, you might not know what you're missing until it's too late, and that can set you back weeks.
Got it.
Judson, another new technology we are trying to deliver is tracking inventory using drones. Do you want to have a look?
Like here and now, a drone.
Absolutely.
Right here.
You want to have a look at drone?
I think it might actually be a partner conference first to have a drone in a keynote.
Yeah.
Okay, Judson, now we're going to put you to work again. Another new job opportunity.
Good.
You
I'll
can
put my
take
head
this
back on.
box with the RFID tag on top and put it out right in the middle of the stage there.
Well, I haven't done honest work like this in a long time. My staff's not supposed to laugh when I say that, but okay, it's in place. Here we go. We got drones flying.
Yep.
Judson, we fit them with long-range scanners, then fly them over an entire inventory warehouse to scan hundreds of assets at once. So it will hover and read this piece of equipment.
Awesome.
Cool.
That is super cool.
Yes.
Right on.
And here are the results of this scan.
it found 2 tags, not 1.
Okay.
So obviously the drone scanned the box, but there was 1 more tag, which was in my pocket. It actually scanned the tag which was in my pocket, so it clearly doesn't require the line of sight.
Right on.
So it's really, really important to use this technology.
Cool.
Yeah,
how about it? So what's nice about that is you cover a lot of ground on the island and can scan a lot of equipment, but also it helps with protecting the endangered species.
Absolutely.
Because you don't necessarily have to get close to a sea turtle that might be near some of the equipment. You can just kind of fly around it and pick up the tracking, which is fantastic.
And as I mentioned, Judson, it doesn't require line of sight, and it can be used offline so that we can upload this information into Azure.
Awesome. Well, listen, guys, I can't thank you enough for sharing. You've done a fantastic job of not only helping to drive clean energy, but also doing it in a way that protects the environment. So thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you,
Thanks, Gavin.
Thanks, Judson.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So our final segment is about product transformation. And for me, this is one of the most exciting elements of digital transformation because it actually is changing the world in which we live. The opportunity to innovate and create new things has never been greater than it is today. And it creates this fantastic opportunity for all of us. In many ways, there's never been a better time to be a Microsoft partner. Customers are becoming digital partners, and this creates such fantastic opportunity for us because we can take our partners' IP to the cloud. The data about the product itself actually becomes more valuable than the product. You can create just about anything as a service today in this world of product transformation. So I'm very excited to share this next example to you because from aerospace to agriculture, from the world of autonomous cars to clean energy, product transformation is leading us to this new world of this $4.5 trillion total addressable market. So our next example shares not only product transformation, but a full digital journey from employee empowerment to customer engagement, the optimization of operations, through to actually the transformation of their entire company. So please join me in welcoming to the stage the partner, Peter Linke, who's the CEO of ProMX, and Stefan Truthan, the CEO of a company called HHP Berlin. Peter, welcome.
Judson, nice to meet you.
Stefan, nice to have you here.
Hi.
So, Stefan, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your company, HHP Berlin?
We are an engineering company that has traditionally provided engineering services to builders when they create new commercial structures like skyscrapers and stadiums. We help them design emergency services to go into these buildings. Everything from the fire and smoke simulation to the pre-fire plans and the whole safety concept from evacuation planning to the fire safety training. We also help builders get through the permitting process, help oversee the construction, and often provided long-term services. We've done over 10,000 projects in the last 25 years, and we have never lost anyone in a fire in our projects.
So, first of all, that's a ton of projects, and second of all, it's pretty awesome that you've had that kind of a safety record. So basically, you're an engineering company that's focused on fire safety.
Yes.
Great. And so, Peter, talk to us a little bit about ProMX and the kind of partner that you are for Microsoft.
ProMix is a Microsoft partner with 16 years of experiences. Our strong expertise in project management solution helped us to become a trusted advisor in this area worldwide. We developed some of the first add-ons for Dynamics project service automation, which are now available on Microsoft App Source.
And so Peter's actually being a little bit humble right now. ProMX has been awarded many, many Microsoft awards, from CRM Solution of the Year to Best Partner in Germany of the Year as well. So congratulations on your great work.
Thank you.
So let's unpack this story a little bit because I'm really excited about it. Stefan, tell us a little bit about sort of the sort of existing state of HHP Berlin before the transformation. What was it like?
As a traditional engineering firm, customers would ask us to work for designing a building. Designing the emergency and fire-related aspects of this building is a very complicated workflow. For example, this project might up to 36 months, and we might create 10,000 documents like blueprints, equipment diagrams, and procedural checklists. There are thousands of meetings with hundreds of action items that all must be tracked. We would then bring finished plans to various permitting meetings and activities with cities and to get approval to this build.
So it sounds like while you had a really solid, mature business, there were a lot of manual processes, paper-based processes, bookkeeping documents, engineering materials that you had to keep track of. A lot of burden and overhead for your employee base.
Yeah. For many years, our system worked well, but I always had a vision of how we could work it differently. So I really wanted to tame this complicated workflow.
And that's where ProMix came in. HHB Berlin came to us with the amazing vision of a whole slate of new engineering-related products they wanted to create. But they had a problem. They needed a CRM and a workflow management system to glue it all together.
With ProMix, we created what we call the one system. In front of you is the Dynamics 365 system that helps us to run our workflows.
Now imagine, Judson, that you are the builder that wants to build the structure. You have called HHB up, and they won the RFP. And now it's time to build your building.
I'm ready. So Stefan, let's build a building together here.
Okay. So here's our whole CRM dashboard we have for you and for our engineers and the builders on my Surface Pro. So we see a whole 360-degree view of our building. And down, we have here our quotes, and here's the quote of the office tower in Essen. So I can simply dive into Dynamics 365 and kick off the workflow process. The system gives us a detailed view of all of our details, our structured data that we need. And here, and I'm a propose, I combine my proposal with the actual location. In this case, we take it the office tower, and then it takes one click, and the system combines all the information together. That's Dynamics 365.
Nice.
So we've also tied this to SharePoint document repository and the service center. And when I click here directly on this SharePoint link, SharePoint opens up and gives us all our unstructured data directly from Dynamics 365. This allows us to digitize and manage the many paper documents and the project procedures.
This is the key way in which HHB Berlin's core product is transformed. Traditionally, they would fill file cabinets full of documents during the life cycle of such a building. No one would ever look at these because they are hard to access and sometimes also outdated. Now they have the digital archives that exist for as long as buildings exist. And it's all tied together here in Dynamics 365.
You've done a beautiful job of entirely automating the workflow and creating a central repository for all of these assets and using Dynamics 365 here. It's just a beautiful implementation.
Yes, they can collect data on this building for the next 100 years, track changes and decision behind those changes. They built buildings for the last hundreds of years in Europe, and this completely changed the engineering process for the better. The end result is a richer proposal and a set of supporting documents.
Awesome. So you tackled optimizing your operation first by using Dynamics 365 to completely automate your workflows. And it's amazing what you've been able to get done here. My guess is this has dramatically reduced your proposal time and increased the ability your people have to actually spend time with their customers.
Exactly. We can work through the project faster with fewer mistakes, and rework is faster, as I'll show in a minute. This is fourth industrial revolution engineering. Let's switch to Surface Hub. I show you the project, a couple of months.
Awesome. So this would be like what a customer experiences when working with you.
Yes. So I switch to the dashboard. We created here a dashboard called the One Dashboard. And we bring all our solutions and services on one platform together. It's built entirely on Azure. Awesome. It's connected over Dynamics 365. And we find here all our application named Structures. And Structures give us the opportunity to have an overview about the safety in the communities,
right?
The sustainable safety in communities. So we can handle all our information. I click on the object list, and what I find is a list of all my projects I work from the beginning of the project over the lifetime. Here's my office tower.
Great. So this is the building we were building.
And we have all the information that we are collecting over the lifetime. And we can give advice with our knowledge to owners and other companies and partners.
That's brilliant. So your customers can engage with you just like this and work with you in an interactive session.
From the beginning of the project. So can I switch to the 3D view, and you see different parts of the building. And now I can interact, switch to the staircase, and click on wire. And so now I can here on the Surface Hub interact with you and show you some details of the project.
Fantastic. So we're seeing this on a beautiful Surface Hub, but you could also do it on really any Windows 10 device and have this fantastic 3D interaction and experience with your customers.
It's It runs on every device, and it runs globally because it's entirely built on Azure. So let's switch some months forward, and I had another application named Fire Chief.
Okay.
And Fire Chief gives us a good overview. So I switch it here, and we have a good overview about a building.
Awesome.
I switched to the 3D view.
So this would be as the building was constructed. Now, from a fire chief point of view, you can look at the fire suppression assets around the area where the building was created.
And I can use it on a different way, like sensors. So maybe we find that hydrant has an inadequate workflow. The sensor tells us we should change that. And the owner decided he changed the 500 gallons to 1,000 gallons. And he clicks here to 1,000 gallons, clicks on OK. And automatically, behind the scenes, all the data running directly to our Dynamics 365 over Azure and gives us the idea.
That's just brilliant.
So let's walk together. Let's check what's now in Dynamics 365 going on.
Great. So you've changed the change order on the Surface Hub in an interactive capacity with your customer. Now you come back to your Dynamics 365 system.
And now, when I reload it or refresh the site, I receive here, I hope, my automatic created proposal directly from, here is it, hey. I open it, and the system creates automatically a PDF. They store it in SharePoint. When I open it, I receive a proposal they can send directly to my customer and help him to talk about the risk when I change the hydrant or when I change something. So it's a sustainable safety.
That's fantastic.
And we like to say at Promix, there's no money without Dynamics.
I like to tell my Salesforce the same thing.
Our product at HSC Berlin is engineering work, and it's more coordinated, more accurate from a price perspective, and ultimately it's much more detailed and accessible to the builder in the city because of its work.
I'm just blown away by what you've built here. It's fantastic. The 3D experience, the modern workplace environment, the way you've done the job on productivity here, and improving how your employees interact with the data. It truly allows them to spend far more time with their customers, and it's transforming your business. But Stefan, I can tell you're an innovative guy. So tell me what's next on the horizon for you.
Yeah, that's one of the most exciting parts, but we are expanding our customer base to the service we can provide. I'd love to introduce someone who can talk more about the benefits of using our one platform.
So one of your customers here?
Yes.
Awesome.
Please meet Susanne Glatt.
Fantastic. Hi, Susanne, how are you?
Hi, nice to be here.
Welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
Susanne is the head of the German Women's Firefighter Association, which aims to attract more women to this important field. She's also division chief for the city of Essen, German Fire Department. She has been decorated with the German Fire Service Medal in silver for her outstanding contribution to the fire service.
Oh, Susanne, super impressive.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself and the team that you run.
Okay, as a division chief, I have more than 20 years experience in the fire service, and I have about 200 firefighters reporting to me on my shift, and we all do all the typical firefighting functions like fire suppression and everything. So why don't you join my team, Judson?
Okay, so I get to be a firefighter.
For you, yes.
I'll get more costume, huh? Great. Okay, this one looks a little bit more evolved.
Make it a little bit more interactive.
Okay, all right. Okay, wow, lots of stuff here.
Yep.
Give me the hand.
This coat's a little warmer than the one I had on. All right.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Fire coat and a helmet. All right, got it. Even a little mask here, huh?
So we add some more weight to your shoulders.
All right. Okay.
Now you're all ready.
All right. Ready for what I don't know, but ready, yes. Okay, good.
So that's Firefighter Judson.
Okay, great.
HSP Berlin has completed 29 different projects in Essen, and the Essen Fire Department has access to both the traditional paper data, but also to our platform. Traditionally, fire departments like Susan's do not pay for producing data such pre-fire plans or escape plans. They are paid by the builder and property owner to HSP Berlin. But fire departments now pay for smarter access. Essen has access and a one structures account. This is a net new business area for us at HSP Berlin.
Awesome.
So I show you Fire Framework. It's built in the one platform, and it's a fire simulation system that allows us to simulate a fire starting in our Essen building and model potential fire behaviors. After running a simulation in Azure, the tool outputs are a fire behavioral model. We are able to view this model online and share it with you.
Wow. So as you can imagine, this could be incredibly useful for training. We could like virtually set fires in different parts of the building, like probably in the elevator room on top of the building, or another fire in a different part, like in the parking garage, for example.
Right on.
And as firefighters, you have to train a lot.
Yes.
Different types of scenarios in your future career, and fighting fires in commercial structures can be quite a challenge. And it differs based on the type and the age of the building.
Right. It's amazing how you're simulating all of this. I can see how it's super helpful for training. Yeah. So how else are you using the technology to help with first responders?
Next up is our foray in artificial intelligence. With the FireBot, fire reporting, that bot uses Microsoft Cognitive Services and Vision AI, and this allows us an online emergency reporting.
So first it will ask you to enter the event. What should we try?
Well, I'm feeling pretty bold in my gear here, so why don't we try to save a cat in a tree? What do you think?
Awesome. Okay, let's upload this image.
Might need the mask.
Behind the scenes, the AI is using Vision API to look at the photo, the Lewis framework, and the Emotion API, and the Analytics API to determine the type of the event we are reporting.
All right, so, Stefan, I got to stop you there. You actually have a bot for firefighting, a fire bot.
Yes, right. They have.
That's impressive.
Now, they will ask you who's reporting the event. Let's type Judson. And Firebot finds a location based on the picture you just sent and ask you if it's correct.
That's
good. Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so done. It's understood the image is a cat in a tree and the location because of the picture and will send you and your engine to rescue this cat.
Awesome. This is fantastic. I love it.
So, and last we have Fire Chief.
All right, so Fire Chief was Stefan, was the same tool that we saw over on the Surface Hub when you were designing sort of increasing capacity in the fire hydrant to support the building.
It's a Windows Universal Platform app and runs on a smaller device and a large Surface Hub.
All those assets are managed and stored in structured database and managed through Dynamics 365, but the augmented reality app is something which we can amazing things.
So you're getting heavy.
Well, you know, Susanna, I wasn't going to mention it, but it is getting a little warm and a little heavy here.
And that's my job. So imagine if we are dispatched to a fire in our office building in the Essen Tower. When the car comes in as a chief, I would grab a huge stack of files like this one, and then we will race over with lights and sirens over to the fire.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah, and traditionally when you arrive,
then at Judson, an average firefighter like you would have had to call Susan over the radio to get direction and information about a building.
But now when we're arriving on scene, you would just grab your phone and put the Fire Chief app on your phone, and it automatically knows where you are in relation of the building and all those assets. And you can see that on your phone.
That's awesome.
So next, let's say you see a hydrant 100 meters away, and I just told you to hook up a water line with a hose, like...
Okay.
This one. Add some more weight.
Okay, now I got a hose.
So,
all right, good.
It's about probably 20 kilos. So but what if the hydrant doesn't work? You just waste a lot of energy.
Yep.
Get really warm. And a lot of time. You wasted 2 or 3 minutes in a time when seconds count to save probably a life.
Yeah, indeed.
Not only a cat.
Right. So, look, this is...
Yeah, so with Fire Chief, you just point your phone, and because of the AI and the fact that we have all the data storage available on our data store, you can see if the hydrant even works.
Awesome. Right. So you would basically
there's the hydrant.
Take a picture of the hydrant.
Yeah, it's like with the Pokemons, but instead of a Pokemon, you see a hydrant.
Got it. And this would tell me whether or not the hydrant was functional, so I wouldn't have to haul this all the way over there.
How the workflow is and everything, or they put in the Dynamics 365 system.
Yeah. So look, this is fun and everything, but I think I'm going to put that down. So look, in all seriousness, an incredible use of artificial intelligence and augmented reality. And I really can see how it can save lives. If you can actually get to solving the problem and putting out the fire faster, it's super impressive. So what's next on the horizon?
We are looking at taking this whole system as one unit and selling it to cities as a package, a product, so they can integrate it in both in their planning and in their permitting process. We can then seamlessly pass the data and features off to local emergency services as a platform.
That's awesome. So listen, you have truly transformed your entire company, Stefan. You have gone from a paper-based construction engineering company to an entirely digital business. You've optimized your operations. You've changed how you empower your employees. Your customer engagement is world-class in 3D using modern devices. And you're serving new customers in ways in which they've never been served before. It's fantastic transformation. I don't imagine it all happened overnight, though, so tell us a little bit about the journey.
For us, this journey starts over 10 years ago as the power of the cloud started coming to the scene. It was the acceleration with Dynamics in Azure.
So listen, Peter, I also have to thank you for your work here because ProMax has clearly been forward-looking. All of the stuff that you have done, all of these projects, they've capitalized on these 4 solution areas we've talked about. You built a technical business plan, and then you built the digital outcomes, and have truly partnered with Stefan and HHP Berlin. The transformation is remarkable, and the impact that you're having with Susanna and the fire departments, just awesome. So thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you, Susanna.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you, Judson.
Okay, so while I lighten the load a little bit here, again, I hope you all appreciate the fact that what you just saw over these 4 stories was digital transformation in real life. Not demos, not screenshots, but actual customer solutions brought to life by the partner ecosystem, by all of you and your peers. The stories are super powerful because they truly bring to life this notion of a 2-sided business plan. 4 solution areas: modern workplace, business applications, apps and infrastructure, data and AI. We're all alive and well in the scenario you just saw with HHP Berlin and ProMax and Susanna's fire department. They composed into these digital outcomes. Employees were empowered. Operations were optimized. Customer engagement was at all new levels. And companies were truly transformed. One thing that's really clear, though, is that the process by which this was done is completely different. One thing that did not happen was a bunch of product-specific pitches, siloed solutions being presented. The true outcome, the value to the customer, was what drove the journey. And this is how we all have to sell together. We have to lead with this 2-sided business plan. It'll help us reach our potential as an ecosystem, and it's what's best for our customers. Which brings me to my final story. You have to remember that whilst it's awesome to be able to talk about how these 4 solution areas compose into digital transformation and take us on this path of realizing more economic opportunity as an ecosystem than ever before. But why we're all here, the importance of why we're all here, is the mission. Our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. Achieve more in the way that matters most to them. It's a higher calling for all of us, and we share that with you, our partners, because it's meaningful. It's what gets us out of bed every day. In short, it's about making a difference. And this final story, the surprise I have to share with you, is truly just that. I want to show you a video to tee up the story, and then I'm going to invite on stage some very special guests. Please roll the video.
Ես 20 տարի երեխա չեմ ունեցել։ Ես պայքարեցի եւ հասա իմ արդյունքին։ Ունեցա զույգ բալիկներ, Լիաննայից եւ Գևորիս։
Լիաննա շատ խելոք։ Լիաննաս միշտ նոր արկածներ է փնտրում, իր գլխին սարքում եւ շատ նպատակասլաց երեխա է։
Դե իմ երեխաները ծնվեցին 7-րդ ամսում, դա կոչվում էր անհասիկներ, ու ծնվելուց երկրորդ օրը այդ հիվանդության անունն էր ռետինոպլատիա։ 2-3 օրական էր, առաջի վիրահատությունը, որ արեցին։
The
children of Armenia were experiencing a very aggressive form of childhood blindness, which in this country is almost 100% treatable. We were able to partner with SADA Systems to help us implement a cutting-edge solution using Polycom devices and Microsoft Skype for Business to stream a high-fidelity image out of the OR into our office here so that we could actually observe and guide surgeons who are halfway around the world. And not only was it a point-to-point conversation, it was a multicast so that we can have multiple experts forming a small community around this trainee to provide a better future for that child on that operating table.
Լիաննայից միջամտեցին վիրահատություն։
Իրանց ընդունելուց այնքան շատ բարձր մակարդակ է, որ այսօր մենք հարգում ենք այն մարդուն, ոնց որ մեր ընտանիքի հարազատ մարդ։
Դե բոլոր ծնողներն էլ հույսեր կապում են իրան երեխաների հետ։ Ես կուզեի, որ Լիաննաս իր աչքերով տեսներ մեր երկրի գեղեցկությունը եւ տեսարժան վայրերը։
Please welcome Toni Safoyan, the Chief Executive Officer of SADA Systems, and Dr. Thomas Lee, who's the Director of the Vision Center at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles and an Associate Professor at the University of Southern California's Roski Eye Institute. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Lee, I'm humbled to be in your presence, and I'd ask if you'd share with us a little bit more about your work.
Well, thank you, Judson. I'm based at Children's Hospital Los Angeles, which is consistently ranked in the top 10 children's hospitals in the country. We have over 350 inpatient beds and perform over 300,000 outpatient exams each year. One area of focus for us are premature infants. Judson, approximately 10% of all preemies will go on to develop a devastating form of childhood blindness called retinopathy of prematurity. In this country, preemies are screened on a regular basis with severe forms of ROP requiring surgery within 48 hours. Without that operation, the baby will go blind.
Wow.
In partnership with the Armenian Eye Care Project, we found that the doctors in Armenia didn't know how to manage this because of a lack of training. And as a result, their babies were going blind unnecessarily. We engaged with SADA Systems to integrate a solution that would allow us to train their surgeons in a scalable fashion without requiring me to fly back and forth all the time, and ideally engage additional experts around the world to create a crowdsourced virtual surgical training platform to prevent childhood blindness on a global scale.
That's awesome. So, Toni, talk to us about how SADA has helped Dr. Lee and all of his work at the Roski Institute.
Thanks, Justin. So at SADA, we're insistent on making a real impact in the world by the work that we do. We support many charitable organizations, but Children's Hospital Los Angeles and the Armenian Eye Project are certainly top of the list. When we learned about Dr. Lee's mission, our team of experts concluded that using Skype for Business and OneDrive, CHLA could not only achieve the HIPAA compliance requirements that they need, but also the multi-doctor engagement platform that is really required. With that, Dr. Lee and his team of doctors around the globe could, in real time, observe, train, and nurture the eye surgeons in Armenia to be able to cure blindness in children at a scale and efficiency never before possible. We intend to add real-time translation capabilities and as well as additional infrastructure to allow Dr. Lee to expand his work globally.
That's amazing. So, Dr. Lee, even though you saved Liana's sight, you never actually had an opportunity to meet her in person.
Correct.
And I'm delighted to share with you that Liana and her family have traveled from their home in Armenia to right here in Washington, D.C. to meet you for the first time.
Oh.
Please welcome Liana and her family.
Yeah.
Nice. Together, we will make a difference, and together, we will change the world. Thank you so much for everything you do. We're proud and humbled to be your partner. Thanks.
Thank you.